Hi guys. Okay, so I am going to do a blow dry tutorial. I was thinking about what tutorials to do and I'm going to start with the basics. So what we're going to do first is I have, my hair has air dried probably about 80% of the way. This is where you kind of want to be before you start using the round brush. You can rough dry, you can dry with your fingers, but 80%, and then you can start using the round brush to smooth it through. Two reasons, that if you're wearing extensions, that creates less tension on your extensions, and nobody wants to be using a round brush for that long. It hurts your arms. Believe me, I know. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to use is I'm going to use a smoothing cream. I really like the smoothing cream by Loma. It is a little bit light holding, which for my hair is really nice. I deal with frizz constantly. So I'm going to use about this much in my hair. I'm going to kind of mush it through my hands. So I started on the bottom, worked my way up, worked my way through, and then went through and put it on these little babies right here. These bane of my existence, flyaway frizz, even on the top right where my part is. The reason why I do that last is because where you put your hands after there's product on them is the highest concentration of product. So I want maximum smoothness, maximum hold through here. And I don't want this to be overly greasy or overly saturated with product. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Olaplex. You want like a lighter oil, and especially if you're blonde, you want a lighter colored oil. You don't want like an amber oil because that will start messing with your color. So same thing, you go on the bottom, on the top. I cool it with the oil for a little bit, and I can always put it on dry because it's a light oil, so I can start a little bit with it wet and then I can put it on dry. So then what you're going to need is you're going to need clips, which I don't have. You're going to need clips. So I have two clips. I always go through and part like right here. This is where I'm going to concentrate most with the round brush. It's going to be the front right here, and that includes my bangs and these little hairs at my recession that like to give me problems. So this is where you're going to do the most of your blow dry work. The rest of your hair is just going to be putting tension in your hair. So I'm going to clip that out of the way and save that. Okay. And then I'm going to do a second one right here. Hold it in there. And then I'm going to part my hair in the back and I'm going to put it forward. Obviously, unless you're Superwoman, you can't really, this is super uncomfortable to do. Bringing it forward and in front of your face, that is super doable and way less of contortionist, being way less of a contortionist than this. So I like this. My hair is fairly long. I like this size. It's about 2 inch. It's like a 2-inch round brush. If your hair's shorter, you'd use a little bit smaller. I actually don't use anything bigger than this, even with my clients with super, super long hair. I find that this gives me a lot more control than like those huge brushes. So you're gonna grab your blow dryer. If you have a nozzle, you're gonna want a flat nozzle. Basically what this does is it controls the concentration of the air. So if you're loose like this, then you have a lot of surface area that is blowing out of the blow dryer and you're hitting it all at once. This allows you to have a little bit more control and only has this as where the air comes out. So you can kind of match it up to your blow dryer and work your way down. So much easier. All right, here we go.
So you're going to take the brush up underneath the hair and you're going to rotate the brush 45 degrees to catch the hair and create some tension, and then you're going to pull it all the way down to keep that tension. If you rotate the brush too much, the hair will get tangled up on itself, and that's when you're going to get the brush stuck and you're going to have tangles. So just make sure that you do a 45-degree rotation when pulling through with the brush. So with extensions, I like to section the extensions out. You can put tension on your real hair, especially in the crown and around your face where you want volume, but the extensions you need to be a little bit more gentle to prevent slipping. When you've gotten to the back, you're going to put the brush on top of the hair and blow dry from underneath, still maintaining that 45-degree rotation. You're just going to flip the position of the brush from underneath the hair to above the hair, just because it's a little bit easier for your hand movement to do it that way rather than trying to pull your hand underneath your hair and go all the way back. So this next part is going to be the crown area where most people want their volume. Now, if you have extensions, your extensions are most likely not going to be up this high, so this is going to be all of your natural hair so you can apply tension to get the most amount of volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the round brush and I'm going to actually blow dry the hair forward using my blow dryer, and I'm going to lower the heat setting on my blow dryer because I'm going to want to get those roots. I'm going to want to get right up at those roots and I don't want to burn my scalp. So using a lower heat setting lets me apply that heat a little bit longer than I typically would with a high heat setting. So then I'm going to go and I'm going to put my hair opposite the direction that I want it to lay. So on either side, you'll see me blow drying to the opposite side. That's going to give me the most volume by drying it opposite. I'm also going to be using either a dry shampoo or a root boost just to help hold my roots in place when I'm blow drying that way. It's going to give me a lot more volume than my hair could do without product. When you get to the very top, you're going to take smaller sections and you're going to wrap the brush around from the back and then you're going to wrap it forward. You're still going to have that 45-degree rotation, but you want to be able to use those small sections to be able to get maximum tension so that you can get a whole lot of volume up over your roots. Then you're going to take the round brush and you're going to go all the way down. A lot of people stop mid-root or mid-shaft of their hair and they don't go all the way down through the ends. And if you don't go all the way down through the ends, then the ends aren't going to be as smooth, which is where you really, really want it because the ends are more fragile and they tend to get a little bit more frizzy. So you're going to still do that same technique of just blow drying the opposite way. And you're just going to follow that all the way down, all that tension all the way down. When you're done with the first section, you're going to flip it back. You're going to place it in the clip and you're going to continue on with the next section all the way until you get to the front. So when I get to the front, the very last section, I'm actually going to flip my hair back and I'm going to start to section out that front piece. So a personal preference of mine is I don't like hair in my face. So I'm going to section that front piece out that tends to fall forward. And I'm going to take the blow dryer and the round brush and I'm going to round brush my hair back out of my face, so that I don't have any hair that falls in my face. I'm just going to start directing all of that hair back. And I'm going to run it all the way through the ends so that I get a little bit more smoothness on those ends, which is those baby hairs and those baby layers that tend to be a little bit more frizzy. I'm going to blow dry it out of my face. And then I'm going to take that same round brush and I'm just going to start brushing everything back with a low heat setting so that I can get closer to my roots and start brushing those little baby hairs and start manipulating those so that they don't stand up. Now what I'm also going to do when I'm done with that is I'm going to take the Cool Shot button. If you were ever wondering what the Cool Shot button is on your blow dryer, what it's for, it's actually to smooth the hair down and to give you some shine. So when you use heat with a blow dryer, what it does is it opens up the cuticle and allows the hair to be manipulated. When you take it and you press the Cool Shot button all the way through your hair, it's actually cooling the hair down and closing that cuticle back up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to assess my hair and I'm going to grab some hairspray. I'm going to run my fingers through my hair, push it up with my fingers from underneath and spray it with the hairspray. Same with the back. I'm going to lift and pull up and spray it. The next thing I'm going to do to keep those bangs out of my face, I'm going to lift my bangs up, I'm going to spray them from underneath, and I'm going to kind of mold my little baby hairs with my fingers. And there you have it. Thanks guys for watching. If you want any more tutorials, go ahead and let me know. Have a good day.